I'm going to be talking to you about the mirror principle. The day I discovered this mirror principle, something changed. Something changed. What will I say changed in my life? I stopped fighting against physical actions, physical realities. What's this principle? This principle is the principle of cause and effect. But I'm going to cover it with one fundamental law. This is the mirror principle. And that fundamental law is as within, so without. As within, so without. If you stay true to the end, you will discover why the things that happen to you constantly happen to you. Why you keep repeating cycles. Why you keep on entering damaging relationships. You're constantly broke. You never have money. You're constantly not having funds to take care of yourself and your family. When you discover this mirror principle, just like I discovered it, your life will change forever. Yes, you're welcome. This is me. This is John Seller, and I'm here to help you with the laws of manifestation, to help you manifest. If you tell me what you want, I will help you to achieve it. I am the best at what I teach. Do you know why I tell you that I am the best at what I teach? I have used major part of my life to fail. But when I discover certain principles and I lived by them, those principles eventually made me to become whom I am today. But one of those things I'm going to be talking to you today is the mirror principle. Now let's head on straight. How many times have you woken up in your lives, in your miserable life, and yes, I said miserable because you on your own, you don't like yourself because of the things that are happening to you. It's about to change now. You wake up every morning filled with anxiety. And when you want to look at what puts that anxiety in you, you discover that those anxiety primarily come because you lack finance, you lack funds. You are unable to travel. You are unable to live the kind of life which you wanted for yourself. You are unable to go to places. You are unable to go to exotic hotels. You are unable to live your dream life. You keep running the rat race. This is the mirror principle at work. Now, the mirror principle states that as within, so without. And the mirror principle is one of the hermetic principles. The tribalion. See today, you can never change your external world by fighting against realities. You can never change your external situations by constantly fighting and yelling. That's your partner, which in your mind you think is stubborn or never adheres to you. You are the cause. Yes, I know, definitely you would ask yourself, how am I the cause of a partner who constantly fights against me, constantly makes things worse in my life? How am I the cause? How am I the one who makes all those things to happen that way? Let me tell you something. Just like the mirror principle states that as within, so without. As it is in your mind, so will it come out in your out world. Now, we humans, we live and act in the three-dimensional world. Everything is fixed. You see the house is fixed. You see I'm standing, everything is fixed. The buildings around, they are all fixed. So naturally, it seems like you can't move this building. But now, in your fourth dimensional world, everything is malleable. Whatever you think right now, whatsoever desire you hold right now, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So which is whatever you envision right now, you automatically possess. But this is where the problem comes when it comes times with manifestation. People say, yes, I've already thought about it. I've already imagined that I own it. But, years after, I have not seen it come into play in my life. Yes, the three-dimensional world is a shadow of the fourth-dimensional world, which is to say, if this is the real, if my left hand is the imaginary world, this, my right hand, is the reflection of the imaginary world. Get my point and get it vividly. If this, my left hand, is the imaginary world, this, my right hand, is the reflection of the imaginary world. So, how it happens is this. When my left hand, which is the imaginary world, moves, the right hand does not follow it immediately. There is this state called the lagging state, which is when my left hand moves a little bit, my right hand takes a little bit of time to follow. It doesn't just follow immediately. It's not like when the left hand is moving, the right hand is following. It's not like this. It works this way. The left hand moves. After a time, the right hand follows it. So, right now you're broke. You cannot really fend for yourself and your family. You're working in a job that is whack. It's not working for you. You hate it. As a matter of fact, when you wake up every morning, you hate it so much that you wouldn't love to go to that job the next day. Constantly, your marriage is in shambles. Now, you've heard this message right now, with the mirror principle states that as within, so without, that your physical world is a reflection of your mental world. Now you've learned. You want to put it into practice. You sat down, you start imagining, started embodying that feeling, started putting it on yourself. You started seeing yourself as a millionaire. You started seeing yourself as a person who has money. You started seeing yourself in yacht. You started seeing yourself controlling 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100, even to $1 million yearly, monthly, yearly. You've already imagined it day after day after day. You keep on doing the daily rituals. When you are doing all these things, this is your fourth dimension. Just like I told you, your left hand is the fourth dimension. When you are doing all these things in the fourth dimension, which is your mental world, which is your imaginary world, your mental world is shifting. It's assuming, it's moving. But your three-dimensional world is not moving. It's static. You might think that things will not change. How would you think that you're already a millionaire? You embodied it, you felt it, and in your physical world, nothing changed. It can be disheartening. But this is not the time to break that frequency. This is the time to stay firm by clothing your subconscious, your conscious thought with feelings of wealth. Just like I taught in my previous video. You change vibrational frequency by feelings. So when you must have thought and felt, assumed, embodied it in your mind, sooner than later, it depends on how big your goal is, it starts following along. It will start following along. It will start following along. But something happens. There comes a time when some people just give up and they feel like whatever I've imagined is not coming to pass. As a matter of fact, I should just give up. It's not going to happen. Yes, I've been on this manifestation stuff of quite a number of years now, and I'm not seeing this result coming to pass. And you now relapse back to your former habit of thinking yourself as a poor person. A time will come, which would have been the tipping point for things to change. A time will come when your three-dimensional world, it comes to that tipping point. You manifest what your fourth dimension was thinking, which is the thinking of wealth. You manifest wealth, you live in it a little bit, but later you relapse back to the life of poverty, misery, and shambled marriage. Because at that point, which was supposed to be the breaking point, you quit. You felt that things were not going to change. You felt that things were going to remain the same forever. So you now relapse back to your old habit. And this is what I want to let you know. Your paradigm is in constituency with so many thoughts. Your paradigm is your habitual way of thinking. And when your habitual way of thinking has formed for quite a long time, it starts replicating in the physical world. So you did not hold on a long time. That is what the Bible said in Romans chapter 4, reading from verse 21. It said, even Abraham, who is the father of all nations, the Bible said, he staggered not at unbelief, even when his physical body was old, yet he did not give up. He kept on giving thanks and praise to God. Eventually, he got his desired miracle. Abraham was so old and well stricken in age. His physical world was literally impossible for him to have had a child. Even Sarah, it is literally impossible for them to have had a child. But Abraham persisted in the promises of God over him that he was going to be the father of many nations, of all nations, that through him, the whole world was going to be blessed. He persisted on it. Even when physically things was moving as if it wasn't going to change, he persisted on that thought. Let me tell you this. A thought you persistently engage your mind with, clothe it with feelings. Clothe it with feelings and burning desires. Even if it seems impossible, a time will come when nature, circumstances, orchestrations will happen to give you that which you have already imagined and pictured in your mind. A time will come when nature cannot stop you from achieving or getting that which you have already embodied in your life. You must assume your wish fulfilled. You must see yourself already in possession of what you desire. If you're looking for a child, if you're looking for money, if you're looking for whatsoever you are looking for, you must start from this moment embodying it. I am a great YouTuber who does videos, who has videos that reaches millions. Physically, maybe it may not have been like that, but give it a time. A time will come when it becomes that way. So that is it. That is it. The mirror principle states, as within, so without. If your internal world is constantly fighting with lack, poverty, strain, and struggle, you will eventually replicate that same thing on your outward world, on the outward. You will eventually replicate it. No wonder you keep struggling, because your internal reality states that you are a poor person. That is where psycho-cybernetic comes in. Maxwell Morse stated it, that some people felt he was a man who, he was a surgeon. He operated on the facial structure of people. So whenever people came to him, he had a way of, doing his surgical operation and changes their facial, their teeth, and usually he gave them this fine facial structure. A person who feels ugly has this low self-esteem. But a person who feels that they are beautiful, that they are worthy, that they are handsome, has this high self-esteem in them. So he discovered that whenever he finished performing that surgical operation on them, and they now had this fine face and fine facial structure, their self-esteem eventually grew. Their output in their company eventually grew. Their success rate eventually became great, because now they started seeing themselves as people who are worthy to achieve whatsoever. So as you see yourself within, so you replicate without. That is the mirror principle. You don't fight to change what is displaced on the mirror. No, the external world is your mirror. Whatsoever you see happening in your life in the external world is what has been internally happening in your world, in your inside world. You don't go to fight what is happening. You don't go to fight for a race physically. You first and foremost change your internal realities. When your internal realities see yourself as a wealthy man, naturally, see, this is what happens. So many people sabotage So many people sabotage their growth. If your internal realities, you see yourself as a poor person, this is what will happen. You start acting poor. You start thinking poor. You start walking poor, talking poor, associating with poor people, because this is what your internal reality sees. So your internal reality is as you think you are poor, your perspective will always see things in the perspective of a poor man. You will never see yourself having that wealth. You will never see yourself having that great things of life. So naturally, you would have low self-esteem. And a person who has low self-esteem naturally do things that are low. That is when you start seeing yourself that what other people have, those great men and women, that they are externally from this world, that you can't achieve what they achieved. That is when you start seeing yourself like you can't achieve what they achieved. No! But what caused it? It is because your internal reality has already stated that you are poor. But the day you change your internal realities from the path of poverty into the path of wealth, you will discover inevitably that all your actions will now be congruent to that of your internal realities. You start seeing yourself as a rich man. It will propel you, spur you to go to exotic places. It will spur you to take giant steps and skills that should have made you to start achieving wealth. It's as simple as that. The mirror principle states that as within, so without. You don't go to fight your external realities, your external world. You don't go to fight all that. No. Quit fighting all that. Start now to embody your internal realities. Start now to change your perspective from the one of poverty into the one of wealth, from the one of hell, from the one of sickness to the one of wealth. I discovered something about my life. I have always been healthy. Yes, that thing changed me and made me to become wealthy. I didn't always have money, but I discovered something. I discovered that right from my childhood till now, I have always been wealthy. I now started probing, thinking, what makes me always constantly remain healthy? I discovered this one thing, that internally, inside myself, I see myself as a healthy person. So naturally, when you see yourself as a healthy person, it flows outwardly. You don't need to fight it. When you see yourself as a fat person, no matter the rigorous training you go for daily, you will constantly remain fat. When you see yourself as a healthy person, you don't need to take much medicines for you to be healthy, because naturally your subconscious mind has attuned to the fact that you are a healthy person. You don't fight against, you don't. Everything inside of you sticks to the fact that you are healthy. As within, so without. Thank you very much. I'd like you to subscribe, share, turn on the notification icon so that other persons also would come across the message, and that YouTube will recommend it to people who also need this message. I am counting on you. You are one of my wonderful persons, and I know that this year things are going to change for you. Thank you very much.